What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy and welcome to another video on the channel. Today guys, I am going to be doing a follow-up discussion about the recent Union Cross update that came out earlier in the week or a couple of days ago. We recently got our December update for Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and now the wait starts for the next one, because this update, although we only got one cutscene, was a 7-minute cutscene closer to 8 minutes, and we got a lot of information. It included things about the Master of Master and Lucio, and this update heavily focused on Darkness, and we even got a big reveal, being that Brain has the Master Defender Keyblade, which we all kind of figured, because if there was anyone who was related to Ericus out of the Union leaders, it would of course be Brain, since they look the most similar. But we'll talk about the Brain stuff in another video. For this video, we're going to be mostly focusing on the Master and his relationship with Darkness. Now, I have more concrete theories going forward. This video is going to mostly be speculation / discussion, so let's go ahead and just get started. So for starters, in this update, Lucio points out similarities in a jokey way with the Master of Masters and Darkness. The Master mentioning how Darkness is a very weird fellow, and Lucio kind of points out that, hey, he seems a lot like you. And while this is a joke, this could kind of be a sign / hint at a potential storyline going forward. I mean, look, we know close to nothing about the Master, so don't blame me on that one. But we, don't know much about him, so of course, any similarities between the two would pique my interest. Darkness is a very bizarre character in the series. A lot of people are trying to theorize it to be a person, but as each update progresses, as we see more of Darkness, it seems like Darkness is just a higher being rather than being just limited to one vessel. This is especially the case when they use words like we to describe themselves, and mentions even in this update how they're usually not even visible. So it's seeming more and more likely that this Darkness that we're talking about is probably the singular entity of Darkness that we've probably been talking about the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series, Darkness versus Light. This is that Darkness we're fighting, which makes me wonder if there's someone who represents that on the light side of things, and a lot of people would speculate for that to be the Master of Master. I used to think back in the day that those theories about the Master literally being light was a little weird, but I won't completely lie. It's looking a little bit more likely. I still think the Master is a much more complex character than that, but we will just have to wait and see. Darkness likes mental warfare, trying to divide people, but the Union leaders are the exact type of people Darkness is weak against, as they state in this update, though it works both ways, since Darkness can't necessarily predict exactly what they're thinking, because Darkness only thinks about the negative side of things. The Union leaders, since they're not really pure of heart, they're not pure light or anything, but they're still mostly light, so they can't really understand Darkness's perspective and why it would go out to do such evil things, so it works both ways. The Master doesn't know what Darkness is trying to do, as it claims in this update, but says he's talked to them, and Darkness even refers to the Master as a old friend, which we know in anime terms likely means old rivals / enemies. And if Darkness is a specific enemy to the Master, then I wonder exactly what the Master's role will end up being. Is the Master really similar to how Darkness is, Darkness as presumed by a lot of people and myself? Is the Master just light? Is that just what he is? Is the whole light versus darkness thing that's been going on the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series, is that literally just the Master versus this being we see? Is that what this is? Darkness was there when the Book of Prophecies was made as well, knowing it was already decided Ventus would be the plant among the Union leaders, claiming that was its reason kind of for using Ventus. The Master says the Book of Prophecies covers a lot of time, so he doesn't know details like what happens to who, which I find to be extremely odd, because in previous cutscenes, the Master almost acts as if he knows a lot of things, knows almost everything, but he doesn't. Maybe he's lying. I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know if the master is necessarily trustworthy. I mean, he did like pit all the union leaders against each other, or the foretellers all against each other, but I don't know. I feel like there's no reason to not believe him here at the moment, but he claims he doesn't know exactly what happens to who, but maybe he just doesn't want to tell Lu Shu that. And the update ends with the master telling Lu Shu that he's allowed to watch, but not meddle, because Lu Shu seems to be extremely worried about the union leaders, saying that aren't these guys supposed to be the cornerstone for the world's rebirth and so on. The master even saying that Lu Shu's kind of acting like a mother hen right now, which I find to be pretty funny, because we know Lu Shu in the Kingdom Hearts series as Xigbar for the most part, and trying to relate this Lu Shu and Eden Cross, this past version of who would end up being Xigbar Braig to Xigbar / Braig is just kind of funny to think about. But this is of course before Lu Shu would be venturing out and watching things progress for assumingly hundreds of years, so that would of course take a big effect on a person. The Master and Darkness definitely seem to have a interesting sort of connection. I don't know if it's fair to say connection quite yet, but we know that the Master and Darkness have spoken to each other, and I wonder if in a future Union Cross update if we'll actually end up seeing that interaction. And if the Master does end up being this sort of opposite to Darkness, being pure light instead of just, you know, darkness, then why is the Master actively advocating for Darkness in a lot of these scenes? Now, of course, my own personal theory is that this is some big plan by the Master to overthrow the Darkness by the end of it all, by making sure he plants seeds like very early on, writing the Book of Prophecies, making sure he picks the right people for the right jobs in a big attempt to defeat, overthrow Darkness. But I feel like an entity of just pure light, not a pure light on the scale of the princesses of Heart or Kyrie or something, just a being of pure light. I feel like a being of pure light wouldn't like go about this. And similar to how Darkness can't even like fathom things from the other perspective of why the union leaders would protect each other, would fight for what's good, what's right, yada yada, I feel like the same should probably go on the other side, on how light can't even fathom what it would be like fighting for Darkness or even trying to advocate for it. But that's some mental warfare stuff, and it's all up to how you interpret it. That's just kind of how I feel, and I would definitely love to organize these thoughts a lot more in a potential bigger theory. But of course, as you guys know, for me to make theories on this channel, I have to really be into it and not be like 50-50 on a bunch of things. That's how I feel, or approach theories at least. But if you want to see more theories about the Master, more than I can provide at the moment, then please go ahead and check out my friend's Kingdom Ace's channel. Actually, he makes theories about the Master constantly. That's like one of the main things he like discusses over there on his channel. So if you want to go ahead and check those things out, then please give his channel a watch, because I'm sure he can give you a lot more insight than I can at the moment. Me, I'm just here speculating, discussing random topics about the Master, just kind of spitballing what I think might be happening or what could happen, thoughts on certain situations. But if you want some like concrete theory talk, then go over to his channel. I might make one soon myself, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. But I do have more videos coming about Union Cross. One of my next videos about Union Cross is likely going to be talking about Brain wielding a Master Defender and what exactly that might mean for Aqua going further, actually, because I feel like a lot of people are focusing on Brain right now, and while he is a very interesting topic, I feel like this definitely is going to tie in to what's going on right now in our time with Aqua potentially, and she might have her own little character arc around what it means to be wielding this Keyblade and kind of the history of it, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's going to be about it for today's video though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share the video with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the Union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out to you guys. Bye!